Welcome to the Growth Room with David Daniels. Today, we're incredibly fortunate to have Dr. Orest Komarnyckyj, the visionary creator and founder of drorestk.com and keynote speaker for the Salem Speakers Bureau. Orest, from his background as a dentist, is a lauded, world-renowned men's life coach. Today, we'll be diving into his unparalleled approach to lifestyle consulting and exploring the significant trends he's observing in the industry. Orest, it's a pleasure to have you. How are you today?
I'm very good, David. Thanks for having me on your program.
Great, great. Can you share a little bit about your background and your role now at drorest.com?
drorestk.com. Yeah.
Yep.
For over 30 years, I was a periodontal regenerative surgeon. A lot of people go, "What's that?" Basically, I did dental implants and gum surgery. And
Nice.
so I did that for a number of years. And then there was a time that it came for me to leave. And part of that, one of the reasons, there were several, but one of the reasons is that I was no longer interested in being the best version of myself in that role as I had been in the past. And so when that starts to occur, um, even if I was functioning at 80%, I was still really very, very good. But when you no longer want to grow in your particular profession, it's time to leave. And
Mhm.
so it was time for me to leave. Kind of fumbled around, did a few things here and there, and then a friend of mine, uh, actually a few people, told me that I should look into doing coaching, and that I should do that. And so I've kind of done that. I have a program that I've developed over time. My the people I'm looking for is financially successful men, probably over the age of 40 to 45, 45. And the thing that I coach men on is not necessarily not business or anything like that, but what's going on with their life, with their spouses, with their kids, what's going on with their physical health, and those type of things. Because a lot of men um, do this thing about having the smiley face going forward. And I have several speeches that I give for Salem Speaker Bureau. Well, one of them is smiling on the outside, crying on the inside.
Right.
And, and so that's kind of what I've been doing. And as part of that, I have conversations with men that they would never have with anyone else.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So, and I've been married to the same woman. I've been married only once. Uh, we're coming up to oh gosh, quite a bit actually. Coming up on 30 years, and so uh, just like any couple, we've had our ups and downs and things like that. Especially the thing that a lot of men complain about is not having enough intimacy in their relationship. And so I actually have a book that I'm getting ready to, I'll be publishing here in the next 6 months or so. But it's called Hold the Door, How to Get Laid More Frequently Without Begging.
There you
And
go.
so
Yeah.
that's kind of the gist of things. I find that a lot of times people have given up, men have given up, couples have
Right.
given up. And it's an interesting phenomenon because if you've given up on your relationship, then that same person who gave up shows up in the new relationship.
Right. Right.
And so, wherever you go, there you are.
No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. Tell me,
Yeah.
Doc, what is a typical day in the business look like for you?
Typical day is I get up um, in the morning. I have a routine that I go through. I do my meditation. I go to the gym. I like to lift heavy stuff.
Nice.
I still do. I still can do at age 73.
Okay, age
Working my way
73. How
back.
much how much you pressing off your chest? Let me know, Doc.
Well, right now, I had some injuries and some other things going on, so I'm back to doing 80-pound dumbbells and I'm working my way up to the hundreds again.
Look
My
at
personal record
you.
is 110.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
80 is
yeah,
not bad at all, man. That's awesome.
yeah. So 80s, uh, and I've learned to really focus on my form, because if you don't focus on your form, that's when you get injured.
That's it.
And so that's kind of what I've been working on. And so sometimes I'll be taking I'll take videos of myself to just kind of check what I'm doing, make sure I'm doing it properly. But
Uh,
yeah, so that there's a whole reason why I'm able to do that at 73. And that's not something that a lot of 73-year-olds do.
no
Uh,
doubt.
but there's a part of my regimen works that. And then I spend some time um, reviewing scripture,
Okay.
and then I also have a conversations with God,
I got
and it's people, my function, my uh, religion and scripture review is very functional. So I use I never thought I'd be using Chat GPT and Grok and all these others as much as I am, but I go in, I put in basically find me 10 verses on dealing with people that are thieves.
All right.
Okay, so he'll find those verses for you, and then I kind of read those and kind of say, or dealing with someone who's incompetent,
Right.
or dealing with anger, or dealing with all just real questions about real shit that goes on.
No
And
doubt.
then I move on to a whole nother thing uh, where I have a conversation with God, and this is all it's written, and then God, I take a moment after I make my comment about, okay, what do I need to do about this particular situation?
Right.
Okay, or let's say in business, what are the things that I need to look at, do something, and so, and then takes a moment. And usually, if you take a little quiet time, then you'll God will speak to you. And sometimes I get New Testament God, which is uh, kind of the gentle God.
Right.
Okay, and then sometimes my God actually swears at me.
There
That's
you
usually
go.
the Old Testament God, which has a lot of the pillaging, the murder, and things like that. And
Right.
it's usually my God kind of swears at me when I don't do something that God told me to do, and
Right.
I procrastinate. And sometimes my God will say, like, "You motherfucker." So I know some people would consider that blasphemous. Too bad. But that's something that I hear uh, less frequently than I used to in the past, but it does come up every once in a while, especially when I don't listen,
We got
and where I'm putting off, avoiding doing stuff that
you.
should
Right.
be done.
Right. Right. Man, I gotta have better conversations with my guys so that I can quit procrastinating myself, Doc. I got you.
Yeah,
Let me ask you, and over the last few years, what major shifts have you seen, in the industry?
I think one of the things is that there's a general trend for people to um, open up after they've been reticent.
Right.
And that's the whole thing, is to get past that first lie,
Right.
because invariably people will lie to you, tell you something that they know is not true. And I've got a pretty good bullshit meter,
Right.
and so I will say that's not really true, is it? And then they'll admit, no, it's not. And then we have that's kind of the breakthrough to, like,
Icebreaker. Yeah.
this is your opportunity to speak honestly.
Right.
It where the likelihood of us ever physically meeting is pretty low.
Right.
And so this is the opportunity for you to speak honestly about what's going on in your life. And if you can't be honest, at least with yourself and me, then you're a fraud in the world, and people are going to pick up on that.
Right.
There,
Right.
there's a sixth, I think there's a sixth sense that people have about people that are fraudulent.
I feel you.
And so yeah, no, it was kind of funny. I had my wife had some. She has a cocktail parties for women at our house about every quarter, and sometimes we have like 30 people,
Hmm.
and sometimes we had this one time we only had one. And it was very unusual. And this woman started. I'm usually the bartender at these things,
There you
so
go.
so she was starting to tell this story, and she got into it like a minute or so or 2 minutes, and I looked at her and I go, I don't think you're telling us the truth. And she was just totally like
I
shocked.
bet. I bet. She didn't
And
come
then
over
about
to you. Look, Doc, she didn't come over to your house and tell her to have you tell her you were lying as you're giving
well,
her your favorite drink.
actually she needed it, and she
Right.
in about 15 seconds later she admitted that she wasn't.
There you go.
And about half an hour later, she's actually thankful that I called her on it.
Nice. Nice. What's your
I
what's
don't,
the best
I don't,
drink that you're making?
oh gosh, anything with tequila.
I got you. I got you. You're a tequila snob like myself, where you don't have any of the
No,
additives.
it's actually to make for mixing like a cocktail. Yeah,
Gotcha.
but most of the time I drink Gibsons, which are vodkas and
Right.
vodka and cocktail onions,
I know
and
those
then
well.
also I like my scotch too.
There you go. There you go. There you go. So I guess people finally, I guess coming opening up to you after possibly lying to you at the beginning is one of the biggest things. How is the switch from, you know, being a dentist live and in person all the time to now having a business where you're mostly seeing people online or over the phone or however.
Yeah.
How has that been for you?
It's been good. I'll tell you, I was really ready to leave dentistry. So it's not like, people ask you, like, do you miss it? I go, no. There's no doubt about my no when I say no.
Right,
Uh, so it was different demands. Uh, you know, I don't really I have a couple of virtual assistants that work for me, but in general, I don't have a staff.
right,
Uh, and so that's kind of don't have to deal with all that. Though I do miss somebody controlling my schedule, telling me where to go, what to
right,
be and what time and this and that. That I
right.
have certain things going on. But outside of that, it's really kind of the same. It's just a different modality. I still, in the business of helping people,
Hmm.
and I also have to tell them things that they don't want to hear.
Right,
And I did that as a periodontist. If you are in a periodontal office, as a general rule, you're in pretty bad shape
yeah,
from
yeah,
years of neglect.
no doubt.
So so I and sometimes people make decisions that are penny wise and dollar foolish.
Right,
I've had people tell me, "Oh, that's too much," and then they find someone to do it at half the fee, and
right,
then they come back to my office and somebody just really screwed them up bad,
right, right. And they're
and they know
paying
it.
your fee plus the other half.
Plus to fix what the other person did, and
Right,
so it's like it almost doubles. It's actually fixing something is actually more expensive than actually doing it the first time.
right,
It's just a lot more, and it's not a particularly pleasant experience for anyone. Not for the patient, and not for me.
no doubt.
Um,
You see
so
parallels. You see parallels in what you're doing with that now, as far as
yeah,
people
yeah, I think so.
neglecting.
Yeah, I think the biggest mistake that men make as a general rule is thinking that they can do it on their own.
Right,
Okay, you can't do it on your own. Let me just flat out. If you could do it on your own, you wouldn't be talking about the problems that you're having.
right, right,
You would have already figured it out. And the other thing is that people, a lot of people just don't accept the fact that even great performers at the peak of their profession have coaches.
right,
Tony Robbins has coaches, multiple coaches.
right.
All the great athletes they have coaches,
No doubt.
and and actually, the worse you are at something, the more coaching you need.
That's it.
So if you're horrible at relations, you need more coaching.
No doubt.
It's not going to get, and the other thing is that, and I say this, actually in my book, is that no matter how bad things are, no matter how bad things are, they can get worse and most likely will with inattention.
No doubt. No
So
doubt.
if you're in a situation where you're having sex once a month and you don't do anything about it, um, guess what?
It can get
Twice
to
a year is
zero.
where you're headed.
Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah, because you're doing things that have caused you to separate from your spouse,
Right.
and some of it starts, you know, some of it starts, some of it's hormonal, and some of it starts when, and you know, this I'll say this, and you laugh. I say, you know, kids are the ultimate cock blocker.
Man, I
You
feel you.
know,
I
you
understand.
know, without a doubt, and you know they're great, but it just it changes the whole dynamic, and people tend to think like, oh, it's just going to be the way it was. No, it's not.
Right.
No,
Right.
it's not. And the other thing, the thing is that, you know, being a mother with a child is instinctive.
Right.
It's in a woman's DNA. Now, I mean, being a father is too, but it's in a different way. But it's in many ways it's very instinctive, and you have to kind of recognize that.
No doubt.
And so a lot of times people get frustrated, they get angry, you know, they start begging, which is like pathetic. I mean, you just if you're turning in your man card,
Right.
uh, it's really bad.
Right.
It's not particularly good uh, for you or her. And usually at that point, what's happening is that the sex is not particularly good,
Right.
not particularly frequent, and all you're thinking about is basically ejaculating, and there's nothing for her.
Right.
It's like, you know, like what's in it for her?
No doubt.
Uh, so that's kind of that's where a lot of couples end up with, and so it's definitely something you turn around. I mean, I did, uh, but it's definitely something that you can, and so it becomes a question about, are you going to lead in your relationship?
No doubt.
You know,
No doubt.
and like I said, no matter how bad things are, they can get worse if you keep on going the same way you're going.
That is it. That is it. Let me ask, with the business, what's working well for you right now, and possibly what's any frustrating point that's coming up?
I think probably, you know, the hardest part of coaching is getting clients. That's always a kind of seems to be that's kind of the big thing for many people. Um, the good part is that, you know, once we get to that point, then we have a pretty clear path about what we're doing.
Right.
Uh, the first part is to figure out what you want. Okay. And most people cannot clearly articulate in a quantifiable way what they want. I
No
mean, say
doubt.
like, I want to be happy. Well, what the hell does that mean? I have no idea what the fuck that means.
Right.
You know, so you have to be able to quantify what you want. Uh, and then you have to figure out why. And this is where I get pushback from all the Simon Sinek friends that say you start with why. No, you start with what?
That's it.
Because when you go why, well, why what? So you
Right.
know his famous TED talk that propelled him to stardom. Why is mentioned 47 times. Thank God there's ChatGPT to do the word count for you.
Right.
Guess guess how many times what is mentioned?
Probably
47 times.
47 times every time.
Yeah. So you start off with uh, what, and you have to get a clear idea with a great deal of specificity,
Hmm.
because one of the things is that we measure okay, this is our outcome during the course of the coaching that I'm doing. So this is the outcome that you decided that you want. Okay, it's not me for to decide what I want.
Right.
You know, that's not my job. That's not my you tell me and I'll help you figure out what you want. Because again, people can't, somebody said, well, what do you want? Most people can't give an answer to that right away.
Right.
I think it's a very difficult question. One thing I talk to men about is to ask their spouse what do they want. I said, but don't expect an answer right away because you can't answer that question right away. You
Yes,
have to
sir.
give somebody some time to think about that
No doubt. No doubt.
before that. And then you figure out the why. And if you don't have a good why, you have the wrong what. Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. There's been many that, and that's where we engage in wishful thinking, and I've done that, where I've gotten into the wishful stuff, like oh, I
Right.
want to do that. I want to do that. And I never do. I never move towards that. I never take the necessary steps. It's like this isn't
Right.
wishful thinking,
Right.
and so we do that, and then the last thing is the how, and that's actually the last thing. Do a lot of people want to start with the how, but unless you got the what and the why,
Right.
the how you can't get the right how.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah, so
That's
it's
it.
a and then there's always like you see that like at meetings, things like that, where the speaker's taking a break and they want to air out for a little bit, and they got all these people up there going how asking them how I refer to them a lot of times as ask holes, uh because they ask all the time, and at the end of the day they never take the action.
No doubt. No doubt.
They never take the action. and
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 to your
so
point, if someone gives you a solution and you don't use it, that does kind of make you a bad person, right?
well, that's I think my word's pretty good.
Your word is perfect. Your word is perfect, no doubt.
Yeah,
No doubt.
yeah. So yeah, and I I've had this with friends. Um, I actually had this I did this with a friend of mine. He was this is in a business, and he was telling me a problem he had, and I told him what to do. And I didn't see him for several months, and he forgot that he had actually told me his problem.
Right.
And I said, Sean, you realize that when you told me about this problem originally 4 months ago, it was a $50,000 problem.
Right.
Now it's a $250,000 problem.
Yeah.
Okay. And I said, so this is what I'm going to have a perform. I told you what you need to do. He said, oh yeah, I know I need to. Okay. If you don't do what I told you to do by 5, you pay me $5,000.
Right.
Okay. And he said, "So I don't want to go do that." I go, "Okay, so you're not going to go through the action?" "Oh, yes, ma'am." I go, "No, you'd agree to my terms if you were." And
No
so he
doubt.
finally did. And so this is I was having coffee with him about 10 o'clock. He got that what the thing that I told him to do. He got that done by 1.
Nice. Nice. Very
I call I
nice.
call it a
Very nice.
performance bond. I've never collected on one, believe it or not. I've done them many a time, and I've never collected on one.
Nah, it's a great strategy to get the procrastination and get the what's the word I'm looking for? Not awareness, but to get somebody to do it right now. So
To
that's
take action, immediate action.
take action. That's the most important thing, no doubt. Tell me, where do you want drrsk.com to be in the next 6 to 12 months from now?
I want to be doing uh, more speaking. That's really kind of the thing that I want to be doing, and also promoting my book.
Gotcha.
That's the two major things that I want to really grow into, and it's an interesting phenomenon. Uh, I love speaking.
Right.
I am a by nature I am a attention whore.
Gotcha.
I just it's I it just I like being on stage.
Nothing wrong with
Uh, I admit it. Not because I want to recover from it, but I know
Right.
it's in me.
You don't
I
need
know I
any
want.
you
Yeah,
don't need any means, Doc. You're good.
yeah. I mean, I want to be the center of attention. Yeah,
Good.
yeah, I mean, there's just no doubt about it. And when I walk into a room, I act like that too.
Perfect.
And sometimes I have to catch myself because I think I may be a little full of myself too.
No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. Well, look, Doc, I could talk to you with your energy. I could talk to you all day about just anything, obviously. But I really appreciate you sharing your insights and coming on. And it's a lot that you spoke about that other CEOs and founders and coaches can learn from. So I really appreciate you being here. Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you, David, for having me on.